Breaking news tonight, 2 people are dead, 6 others injured after a mass shooting at Florida State University in Tallahassee. The suspect is in custody. What we're learning about him at this hour, we have live team coverage. First Coast News at 7 starts in 1 minute.
Streaming on First Coast News Plus, this is First Coast News. On your side, we begin with breaking news.
We are indeed following breaking news out of Tallahassee, where 2 people were killed, 6 people hurt in a shooting on the campus of Florida State University.
Hands up, go down the hall. Hands up, go down the hall.
So the video you're seeing here, we're seeing the moments that students ran to safety during the shooting. You can see students leaving their classrooms, going downstairs with their hands up, and then leaving the building as police direct them to a common area. Dozens of students gathered, and you can hear some of them saying that they were scared, as you can imagine.
The 2 people killed were not FSU students. Police say the suspected shooter, identified as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, is believed to be a current FSU student and the son of a Leon County deputy. Eichner was shot and is in police custody tonight.
Students, faculty, and staff are calling their loved ones as soon as possible. The students are being asked not to return to the buildings for their belongings right now because there's still a lot of buildings, especially there near the student union, that are considered an active crime scene right now.
And we have live team coverage tonight from Tallahassee to Jacksonville. We've been hearing from students who sheltered in their dorms and from parents here on the First Coast who feared for their students' lives.
And we want to go to Heather Crawford now. She is joining us live near the student union where all of this happened at FSU. And Heather, I know you got down there about 2 hours or so ago, and you've been speaking with students. Just kind of tell us the latest information right now.
Jessica and Anthony, we have moved over right beside the Student Center. You can see it right behind me. It is taped off with this crime scene tape, a very active scene here, as we've seen dozens of police officers coming in and out of the scene carrying bags of evidence that they are collecting. They said there are multiple crime scenes across this expansive campus, hundreds of witnesses, and I've been talking to students. We just saw a group of students come bringing some flowers down this way, other students coming and just staring out here at the Student Union Center, looking at what the police activity is going on here, in shock of what happened. And I talked to a student, Sam. He's a senior from St. Johns County who goes to FSU, and he talked about the emotional toll that today has taken on students. Listen to this.
It really didn't seem real. Like, you got some videos of the actual shooter, you got some videos of, you know, your fellow students fleeing. Some of them are on the ground hurt. You know, very, very just overwhelming today. I think everyone's a little bit drained emotionally, and no one really wants to go do anything. Everyone just kind of wants to be at home.
So many students just still trying to process how this all unfolded right here on the campus of Florida State University. Riley Phillips continues our live team coverage now. She was at the press conference today where police started releasing details about this deadly shooting, and she joins us now. Riley?
Yes, Heather, I also moved closer to the student union. I'm going to step out of the way because we kind of get a better angle of the actual crime scene. So this is the entrance kind of to the student union, and you can see most of it is still roped off. There's still police on scene, but a lot less police officers than we saw about an hour ago. We just actually watched a young lady come and lay flowers down next to the crime scene. Walking around campus too, you know, a lot less people on campus than you would expect on a Thursday night right before exams are about to start. But I did stumble across a small memorial. It seems like students are laying flowers down. Some students were very emotional, obviously just devastated by what occurred today. During that press conference, though, that I was at, we heard from law enforcement. We got the details, but we also heard from the president of Florida State. He said he and his wife stopped by the hospital to say a few words to the victims that were there. But he really just wanted to let students know that they are all in this together and that they will get through this. Take a listen.
We're a strong and united community. We're family. And so we'll take care of all of you. And we'll get through this together.
Yes, and the president of Florida State also said that there are resources available for students who want to take advantage of them. But again, we're out here right next to the scene here at the Student Union. It's very somber out here, very eerily quiet for a Thursday right before exams. Heather.
It sure is, Riley. Thank you. And you know, so many parents' hearts just dropped when they got the text alert today from FSU. That first one that went out at 12:02 saying active shooter near the Student Union Center today. And they called their children, trying to get a hold of them, making sure they were okay. Our Christina Burgess is in Tallahassee tonight, continuing our team coverage. And she was out earlier today at the Reunification Center where families were coming together just to hug and lay eyes on their children. Christina?
Hi, Heather. We did have the chance earlier to see parents get reunited with their kids as they were getting off the bus over at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. I'm currently by the Landis Green and many dorms here on campus right now, and I'll tell you, it's gotten quieter over the hour that we have been here. Earlier, we saw many parents coming to pick up their kids, lots of students coming out of the dorm rooms with their backpacks, their suitcases, their dogs and their friends, and they were getting in the car. You know, it's just been a really hard day for these students here. I had the chance to speak with Audrey Milligan. She tells me that she's a freshman here at FSU and she's also from Jacksonville. She was in her macroeconomics class, which she tells me is right by the Student Union, when she heard that there was shots fired and there was an active shooter on campus.
They had us leave with our hands up and I was shaking and crying, and then I ended up I saw a body on the ground being tended to. I don't know if they were dead or alive. I knew they were injured and that there was medical attention being given to them, and I kind of just blocked the rest out from that.
And Audrey's parents, she's told me that they were on the way from Jacksonville to pick her up and take her back home to be there for the rest of this weekend. I know Heather and Riley also mentioned that there were students on campus with flowers to take this memorial. In the place that we're standing right now, we've also been seeing a group of students that have had flowers in their hands walking into campus to go lay them at the memorial as well. Many students here just telling me that they're in shock that something like this could happen at their school. Reporting live in Tallahassee, Christina Burgess, First Coast News, on your side.
And that is what so many students are telling me as well tonight, Christina. And so as police are behind me right now processing the evidence from this mass shooting today, we know that classes here at Florida State University are canceled today and tomorrow. And as Christina said, a lot of kids just getting in their car, packing up their belongings and going home for the Easter weekend just to see their families and spend time at home as they process what unfolded here. We're going to be here throughout the night talking to more students, and we'll have a live report tonight at 11. In Tallahassee, Heather Crawford, First Coast News. Anthony, back to you.
Heather, thank you so much for your coverage, along with Christina and Riley. A lot of us, as I mentioned earlier, we have personal connections to FSU because a lot from the First Coast attend FSU there as well. So we will see Heather and the rest of our reporters again at 11.
There is a mother in St. Augustine who is trying to keep in touch with her son at FSU. Her name is Rebecca Romaine. Her son's name is Owen. He's a music major. What a terrifying afternoon for her, but he was able to text her from his music classroom, which is this. He took this picture. You can see a bunch of the other students in there not practicing. They're all on their phones trying to keep up with what's happening outside of those locked doors. That's Owen, and that's Rebecca Romaine. And what we know is that he's okay. Thank goodness. His friends are okay, but his one friend had a terrifying moment this afternoon.
One friend was fleeing. The actual gunman stopped to help a girl who was on the ground, and the gunman came back out around the corner or wherever they were and started shooting again. He said his friend locked eyes with the gunman and then ran. And so that was really a close encounter.
So the friend locked eyes with the gunman. Of course, she tells me too that the friend is wondering how the young lady on the ground is doing and would love to be able to find her to make sure that she is okay. Coming up, we are talking to our crime and safety expert, Ken Jefferson, about the FSU shooting. The latest details is next.
As we continue our coverage tonight about the FSU shooting, our crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson is joining us now to talk about this. Ken has been with us since the beginning of our breaking news coverage. And so Ken, first let's talk about the response time to the shooting. We know that at FSU they have their own police department on campus, and it seems like they arrived fairly quickly.
And that actually helped because they had a police department right there. This happened in the middle of the day, so the student union is going to be heavily populated during that particular time. So I would assume that they had officers either inside or outside the area because of the large amount of students congregating at one time. So their response time was just like that, which is very, very helpful in a situation like this because he did manage to hit several people, but it could have been even worse because he had a rifle that he never had a chance to use. So when officers engaged him, they actually stopped the threat. So that was great that they had almost an immediate response time.
And we know right now that some of the buildings near the student union where the shooting occurred, it's still considered an active crime scene. So let's talk a little bit about the next few days, what's going to happen with this investigation from your perspective, and just kind of the next steps from here.
So they're going to take their time and methodically go over every area of that, what they call the crime scene. It's not just in the area of the student union. It's around the surrounding area, and they may even expand it sometimes. So they don't want any people trespassing in that area to possibly destroy any kind of evidence that they might collect. You might say, well, what kind of evidence can they get? They've got the weapon, they've got the person. Well, there could be other things that surveillance cameras picked up that he did, which would be vital to their investigation. So they have to expand that crime scene the way they did, that area the way they did, so they can scour throughout that entire area.
And Ken, just very quickly, something interesting, this shooter was actually the son of a sheriff's deputy in Leon County.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, the deputy in and of herself obviously didn't have anything to do with this, but he used her personal weapon. Now he's an adult, he's 20 years old, he's considered an adult, so she didn't have a responsibility to try to safely secure it. It's wise to do that, but she probably figured that he's a responsible person or whatever. He knows where it is in the event that he needs to defend himself in his home or whatever. So it's interesting that he used her weapon. Obviously, he knew where it was. He knew how to operate it. And this kid was actively involved with the sheriff's office. So it's going to be interesting to see what his motives were once the investigators get down to that point.
That's right. Ken Jefferson, our crime and safety analyst. Jessica.
All right, very interesting. So our team coverage on the Florida State shooting continues here in Jacksonville. Our Sydney Deshawn is live tonight speaking with an FSU freshman who is now safe on campus. So Sydney, tell us more.
Yeah, Nicholas Damone is a freshman and lives on campus. He's angry and heartbroken about what happened and says this needs to stop. He walks by the student union every day to get home from class, but today was different. As he was walking home to his dorm, he received the shocking alert from FSU. That alert warning students there was an active threat on campus and students needed to seek shelter immediately. He says his roommates and him hunkered down in the dorm room and they didn't know what to expect. He says it was a pretty close call for some of his other friends.
Me and my close buddies are in a group chat and we were checking in on each other. I had a few buddies with some close calls that were in nearby buildings that apparently the shooter was in, is from what we've heard, but they're safe. They were able to hunker down in their classroom, lock the doors, and stay safe until law enforcement arrived.
Now, I also spoke with a lieutenant from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. He oversees the SWAT team, and he talked more about how officers respond to incidents and situations like this. We're going to have more from him on First Coast News at 11. But for now, reporting live in Jacksonville, Sydney Deshawn, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, Sydney, thank you. And one high-profile Jacksonville parent was one of the thousands waiting to hear from their students today at Florida State. Former Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry found out his son, a sophomore, Boyd, at the school was safe during the shooting. Our Zach Wilcox spoke with the former mayor, and he is in downtown Jacksonville with more tonight.
Yeah, Anthony, the former mayor actually told me he was about ready to pack up his car and head to Tallahassee tomorrow, where they were going to have a parent weekend with his son's fraternity. They were going to have some dinner, catch a baseball game. Obviously, those plans canceled now, but he told me that it is a small price to pay to know that his son is safe. And we'll take a look at a couple of quick pictures here of the former mayor and his son Boyd, just so you have a visual here. The former mayor told me that he found out about this in the early afternoon. And his wife wasn't able to get in touch with his son right away, but he was able to get a hold of him over Snapchat. Found out that his son was in his apartment on campus, but in his apartment all day, so he was safe throughout all of this, fortunately, and he's kind of just waiting it out. Now, the former mayor has a lot of experience with emergency management, and one issue that comes to mind, or incident that comes to mind, was the Landing shooting back in 2019, when 2 people were killed in addition to the shooter, as well as 11 people injured. So I asked what it was like for him today as a parent at FSU, as opposed to that experience 6 years ago.
It's really hard to compare. I mean, this is my son, right? It's like, is he okay? When the Landing stuff went down, I mean, I care about our firemen, our policemen. I was close to them over the years, and so that was very real as well. It's just, again, this is a really sad way to be reminded that life is really fragile.
And Curry told me that his son's going to be driving back home over the weekend so they can spend Easter together, and they certainly have something to be grateful for. In downtown, Zach Wilcox, First Coast News, on your side.
Wow, Zach, okay, thank you so much. We'll be right back.